Well, then we've started. We're live from...
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what to do is put your phone there.
Okay.
Because the last time we did a car one, it was like 90% your audio. Turn the mic to the middle, you fucking jabroni. What are you doing?
Is that where the mic is?
Yes!
Okay. I'm afraid of it. So, if you couldn't tell, I'm here with good buddy, friend of mine, friend of the channel, Dave Kivo.
I just want to say,
and we're
I've
doing Turtle
hopefully
Talks.
saved the audio here because he had the mic up his mouth and I was
Yeah.
over here. And so, how would, last time we did a car one, the audio was a nightmare because of that very reason, because he did the same thing. You need neutral space in the middle for your audio.
This should work. I
My lips
got high
are
hopes.
drier than
The Savannah?
your personality.
Oh no.
Gotcha.
Shit. Fuck. So we're in the car.
We are in the car.
We have just seen a show.
Kids in the car. That's where they are. Remember that?
In
We were kids in the car. Strawberry alarm clock. That's a real Irish reference.
That's a real Irish reference. Well, now that you've exposed us for that, David,
They've heard our voices.
They've heard it.
They know what we are.
They know where.
They know
they're
what
tracking us
they know
down.
what hedonistic fucking potato fuckers we are.
Yeah.
Listen to us. Where else would we be from? Canada? Fuck
Oh.
off. What am I, a Canuck? Is that racist? I don't think so. There's a team named after them in some sport. Probably hockey, because they're Canadian.
Yeah.
Fuck off. There's a big ball there. There's an animal. We just saw a fox.
Oh,
We're driving.
from
a show.
We're driving from a show. We just went to see John Mulaney.
What's the name of the show? Back to Basics.
From Scratch.
From Scratch.
From
Back
Scratch.
to Basics. What a shit name that would be. Glad you didn't call it
My biggest, I referenced multiple times and will probably reference on my deathbed. There was no merch everywhere.
You always have to start negative. You couldn't have said
I'm
it was a
starting
good
negative.
year.
I'm
Such
sorry.
a
It was an
fucking-
amazing show.
I had a blast. I had an
I
absolute
had a-
blast.
it
My
was-
highlight of the year so far, and we are 18 days into it. So that is
Like he said the day, and I was like, it's the 18th of
Why
January.
is January?
Oh no!
Oh, you dropped it. You dropped it. Okay, hold it like here. Just hold it where it was.
Okay, hold on. I'm unbelting.
This is the worst road you can be belting on.
Fucking hell.
Edit this out.
Okay, so you want me to hold it?
Buckle up again, motherfucker. What are you doing?
Buckle up again. I'm not.
You're unbuckled.
Audio listeners, you're fucking fucked.
Audio listeners, as opposed to who? The people in the car?
Okay.
My seatbelt beep went off there.
Why did it go off there?
Because your fucking seatbelt was off.
Okay. Is there a good spot for it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it paused.
Yeah, because you dropped it.
It didn't
on the floor.
pause.
You dropped on the floor, you fucking.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, we went to see John Mulaney from Scratch. Really good show.
I think it's good.
Really entertaining.
Deep, thought-provoking.
Well, thought-provoking might be a bit of a stretch.
Okay, yeah.
We talked a lot about rehab.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was funny, and I laughed out loud several times, which, as Turtle Guy knows, it's very difficult to make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
I never do it.
No. Make others laugh.
That's my job. I'm the sad clown. I'm like Tony Soprano. I'm like the sad fucking clown. Yeah. That's what I feel like sometimes.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I'm like, well,
This
at
is
least
where
they're happy.
we're
you know,
really
and then
getting deep
and then I
into-
turn off the PlayStation or I close over my laptop and I just lie on my bed and stare at the ceiling and wonder, why? Why do I make them happy? Why can't I make me happy for once? Why can't I be happy? Life.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, John Mulaney was really funny, and they actually had two stand-up comedians at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, opening acts like most comedians have. I can't remember their name.
No.
Dan Levy was one of them. Not Dan Levy, not Schitt's Creek's own.
No.
But he was Jewish and funny.
Yes,
and
he
that's
was.
the best
Yeah.
comedian. And then there was another guy who was in Marvelous Miss Maisel.
That's all I'm remembering.
A show I've never heard of.
It's a show I've heard, but we'll never watch.
He also kept calling us crowd. Like he was a Twitch streamer talking to his chat.
Because the other two,
The other guys were like Dublin, and I hate hearing American people say Dublin. It makes my skin crawl. I hate when
weird.
I hate hearing things I normally hear Irish people say said by Americans.
every
I don't
so
like
often-
hearing. I will soon once again have an American roommate, and he's a great guy. But sometimes he'll say, "What's the crack?" or "Let's go to the pub." And I'm like, no, first of all, you say, "What up, dog?" because you're American. And also you say, "Let's go to the bar," because you're American. So don't come at me with this Irish nonsense, alright? This facade. He also doesn't do it properly. I'm ranting from it. So when we're in Ireland, you see a woman walking along, you go, "You're one."
Yeah.
You see a man, you say, "You're man."
Yeah.
Right? It's not very with the whole current climate, but you know, we're an old fuddy-duddy of a country.
We are,
that's
and
what we are.
we'll die
we will
that
stay
way.
in our ways, and we will die This year, 100 years since our Civil War. What did we fight over? Who knows? But we fought, and we hated each other, and now I guess we're all over it. Anyway, the point is,
Just like
he
any Civil
calls
War.
a your man a your one. Maybe he's being progressive. I think he's just being a fucking idiot. Anyway, once again, we're back to talking about what we had to talk about, what we came here for. I think you're blocking the mic there, bud.
Oh shit.
Anyway, John Mulaney, really, really, really good show. No merch available, as Turtle Guy said. No
No
popcorn.
Phones? Oh,
no
popcorn.
phones. We had to put them in little pouches that were held tight by the things they put on clothes, so you don't steal them. Or what did you say it was the
I
same
thought
thing as?
it was like the stuff they put on like the good whiskey.
Yeah, you would think that, you fucking alcoholic.
Yeah, it's true.
If there's one thing I know Turtle Guy for, it's his liquor.
Oh, it's my raging alcoholism.
Yeah, if anyone
It's
in this
so
car
true.
is burgeoning on alcoholism, it's definitely Turtle Guy.
It's definitely me.
It's 100% Turtle Guy.
Oh,
Turtle Guy has the drinking problem. Turtle Guy wasn't spending the first 20 minutes of sitting in the theater saying, "Man, I wish I could have a drink right now." That was definitely Turtle Guy.
Also, another thing.
That wasn't me. It wasn't me who was really wanted a drink of alcohol. It wasn't me that was drooling at the mouth, wondering why life must continue on. Why must we march through this horrible
God.
land? Why must we haunt these hallowed halls without even alcohol to subdue the horrible crushing weight of your own existence?
One other thing that I have to
Which
say
of your-
was wild
Yeah, go on.
was and you mentioned that we didn't have our phones, so we didn't have a clock.
There was no concept of time. You could have told me I was there for 10 years, and I would have said, that's not true. But I was there for a really long time.
Yeah, it did feel long.
It was a very...
There was no watches.
Yeah, because who the fuck has a watch? I have a watch, it's too slow though. It would have been perfect for Turtle Guy.
It would have.
They also did countdowns.
Yes.
So when the two opening acts came on, and then there was an interval, and then John himself came on. The first two acts came on, but before they did, the music, there was music in the thing just playing.
Yeah.
Music got really loud for a second, and then stopped, and then John Mulaney's disembodied voice cast out over the audience, and he said, "Hello everyone, here's your first opening act," and then some guy ran out from whatever it's called. But before all that happened, we heard a disembodied voice, not John, a different one, who said, "And the show will begin in 5 minutes." And then 2 minutes later, and I only know it was 2 minutes because for some reason he decided to announce that it would be 3 minutes before the show, and then he did it again for 1 minute, and then the show started. And then we
But
heard
then
John.
the second time he said
The second time he said it, he only did the 5 minute countdown, then the 3 minute countdown, and then John Mulaney bursts onto the stage, and everyone cheered.
To everyone whooping and hollering.
And he goes, "Well, thanks, guys."
I'm
glad to be back in Dublin.
2 minutes.
And I said, "Ugh," he said, "Dublin." Ugh.
Yeah, but he was there, and it was so. I don't know, because I'm not used to meeting famous people.
We didn't even meet him. We were in the nosebleed seats, but it's weird seeing one in person.
Exactly.
It's weird when I heard his disembodied voice. I was like, "Oh, it's so weird that we're going to see him now in like actually him in a minute," because I've seen him on TV. I saw him in movies and stuff. To actually see the person in real life,
It
like,
was
it's
so.
pretty wild.
And to see him with my good friend.
Yeah.
I'm
and
getting
to see him with some guy. Who are you?
better than nothing.
No,
Yeah, I'll
no.
take it. It was such a lovely night, though.
Turtle Guy also has a distinctive cackle.
Yes.
I'm a quiet laugher.
I am the Wicked Witch of the West.
You're like the Wicked Witch of the West and Woody Woodpecker were fused together by like some kind of horrible dark magic and force a lot of cocaine, and that's how you laugh.
Yeah.
And look, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great laugh.
It's a unique laugh.
It's a unique laugh. I could hear that laugh after 100 years of not seeing you, and I'd be like, "That's Turtle Guy's laugh." I was gonna say, "Can we demonstrate you?" But I can't make you laugh. I'm not funny enough.
You could try, but
What would make you laugh? What's something I can do that can make you laugh? If you're expecting it, it won't work, but I want to try anyway.
I don't know. One of your many impersonations?
I don't know what you're talking about. I never did an impression of my goddamn life. Yeah, see, that's
that was a tease.
Yeah, it was a tease.
I know.
You do it in Cybercrime videos a lot.
I do. Speaking of Cybercrime, last night.
Oh no, we gave him a shout out. Quick, throw him under the bus.
Fuck. Well.
Old school Turtle Guy mode. Throw him under the bus.
Well, no. So I nearly killed him last night.
Oh well, that's one way.
Yeah,
did you throw him under an actual bus?
I didn't throw him on I sent him a James Bond meme on Instagram. Did you see it or no?
No.
It was this James. It was very Cyber's type of humor, because it was like name's Bond or something. It was funny, and it was just basically, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's like Bond's the name or something. And then it went on to like, I'm having a stroke.
Oh, I do know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way you explained that was horrible.
Yeah,
No
it
one-
was god awful, and if you manage to decipher it,
Tell you what was really funny, John Mulaney. Speaking of, can we talk about Night at the Museum for a minute?
what a beautiful transition.
Not at all. But I just want to make it clear that in my job, I have to have the TV on in the reception area. I'm not going to get any more details, but I work with kids. They have to be kid-friendly movies. And for some reason in my house, still wrapped in the plastic like some kind of mysterious gift from an otherworldly being, was a one-disc double feature of the first two Night at the Museum movies. And let me tell you, if you watch those two movies on loop for 3 days straight, you're going to start asking some fucking questions.
Was this day 3?
This was day 3.
Okay. I awoke to David's rantings. Beautiful rant.
I wish you could just read the message because it's so intense. But anyway, there's too much to read.
There's too much.
The point is, the fucking lore of that movie is so intense. So,
Wow.
at face value, you've got this magic tablet that brings museum artifacts to life. Fantastic, great premise for a kid's movie. However, when you think further and dig deeper,
Yeah.
problems arise.
Yeah.
Problem number 1. We see wax figures come to life. Fair enough. Perhaps this is some kind of golem situation or a voodoo doll thing. Okay, the golem explanation would in fact add to the statues that come to life. Problem is, where do their personalities come from?
Yeah.
How the fuck does Theodore Roosevelt have the memories of Theodore Roosevelt? Would an Abraham Lincoln wax figure remember he was shot in the back of the head?
And as you mentioned, I'm going to mention something you mentioned because I didn't really contribute that much. If you melted down that wax figure into something else and replaced it in the museum, would it still... Where is it getting this Teddy Roosevelt knowledge?
If you
Now-
melt Theodore down and
Yeah.
make a new Abe Lincoln, does he have a subconscious Theodore?
Now, it could be argued that, oh, we got it from the tour guides. Unlikely, because there's a lot of... Because he says a lot of offshoot stuff that...
He knows where he was made. He knows where he was made. A tour guide wouldn't say that. He knows the place of his
How
birth.
did he know he was wax?
Because he
What
was
is
cut in
that?
fucking half. I don't know. But also, when he's alive, he's still waxed because he gets cut in half in the first fucking movie.
Yeah.
And Sacagawea, which I'm not going to get into that thing. But the fact that they made them a romantic couple, considering the comments old Teddy had to have about the Native American population of the United States of America, not very pleasant, guys. Okay, fine. Maybe it's a voodoo doll situation. And again, it could be a golem thing with the statues. Let's not get into it. The problem comes when you look at the necromancy involved. That's right, necromancy. Let's look first at the taxidermied animals. Yes, taxidermied, meaning they were once alive, shot dead by some big mustached fucker in Africa, and now...
Maybe that's why Dexter is just so mad.
Because he was alive, he knew the taste of life, and now he's nothing but a hollow stuffed corpse parading around a fucking empty museum, bothering
wants
Ben
vengeance.
Stiller. But then it gets worse, because a fucking mummy comes to life, a la 1999 Stephen Sommers directed blockbuster hit The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Yes, that's right, we got a mummy reference in here. But he comes to life, and he's not some dusty old fuck. No, he's beautiful baby-faced Rami Malek, and he knows English because he was conscious and aware when he was in Cambridge University and was able to learn the language of English so perfectly he could communicate with the 21st century Ben Stiller and his little shithead of a son Nick.
Yep.
Now, what about the T-Rex? Well, isn't that a question? First of all, how does it have a personality? It literally doesn't have a brain. Second of all, dinosaur fossils are assembled from actual bones. Well, not bones really. They're actually rocks with the impression of bone because they're not really bones. They also get put together with fake bones used to construct a pretty accurate, hopefully scientifically accurate, representation of an extinct animal. The thing I'm trying to say is that skeleton is not all skeleton, and in fact, for the most part, probably has no real bones in it at all, because it's a fucking T-Rex and you never find complete ones. The most complete one is Sue in the Field Museum in Chicago, but this is set in the Natural History Museum in New York City, not the Field Museum in Chicago.
Are you done? Do you want to take a breather?
No! I'm
Oh,
not done,
yeah,
because we
okay.
get more.
Okay, keep going.
Let's talk about the bounds of this reality's magic. First
yes.
of all, The film is entirely set in the Natural History Museum in New York City. This we understand.
Yes.
If the exhibits leave and the sun rises, they turn to dust. Now,
What's the limitations on that? Like,
that's what we're getting into. In the first movie, it works. It's in one building, so we can run with it. Except for when all the exhibits leave the building, then it gets a little bit foggy. But let's stick with the one building
Then if
rule.
you
A caveman. I'm not
Sorry.
finished.
oh no.
A caveman leaves a window. Okay, and this happens. Now he turns to dust when the sun rises. The thing is, the sun itself does not kill them because sun shines through the windows onto Teddy Roosevelt's face. He does not melt. He becomes wax once more. What happens is the caveman was outside the bounds of the museum. Fine, fair enough. Maybe it casts a magical thing on an establishment, and that's what stops the things from turning to dust. However, let's jump to number 2, Battle for the Smithsonian. Let's be honest, Amy Adams has never looked hotter, but that's not important.
Oh
What's
my
important
God.
is she plays Amelia Earhart. First of all, how does she know what happened to her? Ask her.
It's
Ben,
teased.
stop kissing a wax figure and ask her the question. Where is she? Where can we find Amelia's
then
corpse? But more
possibly-
importantly than all of that, it's set in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian Museum is comprised of several buildings as well as underground storage for the exhibits that are not on display, and it reaches all the way to the Lincoln Memorial. You guessed it, folks. That giant statue of Abraham Lincoln, the man who abolished slavery, comes to life and kicks some fucking Egyptian demons. Egyptian demons, you ask? That's right, motherfucker. This movie introduces Hank Azaria as an
God.
Egyptian,
Yeah.
the big brother of Rami Malek from part 1, and who briefly appears in part 2. And he opens a gate to the fucking underworld, and actual real demons emerge from it, confirming not only does the underworld exist, but an afterlife exists, and the Egyptian gods must be real. We knew magic existed, but now we know there's an afterlife. Is there a god? Is it Ben Stiller? It's probably Paul Rudd. It's not Ricky Gervais. He is the devil. More importantly than all of this, does this just mean the Egyptian pantheon is the only one in existence? Or are there other pantheons? Could we get a mythical Thor's hammer, perhaps? Maybe even a thunderbolt of Zeus? But more importantly than this, we have to question the bounds of the reality of the magic tablet. As I said, the Smithsonian covers several buildings and underground facilities and the Lincoln Memorial. Every single building and every single exhibit in those buildings, including paintings and cherubs played by the Jonas Brothers,
Don't they jump into the paintings?
they do.
What the fuck kind
And I'll
of...
get to that now. They all come alive in every building, and when they go building to building with the tablet, the exhibits remain alive. Amelia Earhart flies them from Washington to New York, and she and Jedediah, it's not Jebediah, it's Jedediah for some reason, both remain animate. This means that when you are touched with the tablet's power, you remain animate until the morn, regardless of where you go.
Yeah, because she flies back to the
She
Smithsonian.
flies and dies, okay?
Oh,
Now, let's talk about superpowers. Can we talk about superpowers for a minute?
Yes.
For some reason, in the first movie, the 3 old men gain fucking acrobatic superpowers to fight Ben Stiller, and they blame it on the tablet. Not the boogie, the tablet. Now, what the fuck's that all about, and why does it never come back? Who knows?
do you have to reach a certain age for the tablet to go like, ah, yes, I grant you the powers?
Are they considered fossils? Is that how that works?
I think that was the joke.
Now, final point.
Yes.
Until I remember more, or you have something to say.
Yeah.
Or we finish this before I go insane.
Yeah.
They do enter a painting in part 2. They enter that famous picture of the soldier kissing the woman in Times Square, New York. World War II is ended, a fantastic photograph. They enter that. Jay Baruchel, voice of Hiccup, horrendous Haddock III from How to Train Your Dragon. He was also in some other movies, but they're not as good as How to Train Your Dragon parts 1, 2, and 3. He's there, and he somehow gets his hands on Larry Daly, aka Ben Stiller's little cell phone. Now, a post-film scene shows that he still possesses the cell phone and appears to be reverse engineering it. So what does this mean for the universe? Does this mean he was the inventor of the phone in the reality that is in that photo? Do the people in that photo live on? Could you go into the photo and travel to another country? What happens if you're in the photo when the sun comes up and everyone...
Don't they trap a bunch of
They throw
Al
water on an
Capone's-
octopus.
Don't they trap a bunch of Al Capone's men in?
They trap Egyptian men, but
Oh,
yes.
Egyptian men. Sorry.
And finally,
Oh.
Darth Vader shows up.
He does.
Now he...
And
does
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, but Oscar the Grouch doesn't have superpowers.
Oh yeah.
Darth Vader is not able to use the Force. But, as previously mentioned, Hank Azaria, the not Egyptian, opens a door to the fucking underworld. Darth Vader should be allowed to use the Force. That is all I have to say on the Night at the Museum franchise. John Mulaney was really good. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Well, David is done, and he's taking
I'm
a
out
little
of breath,
vocal
my abs
rest. So, one final
My
reveal
abs,
I'll give to
my
you,
bare
David.
belly hurts.
You know that there is a third film.
I do know there's a third.
The Night at the Museum 3: Secret of the Tomb.
I haven't
But
watched it.
did you know? Good old Disney Plus. They're just last year in December they released a Night at the Museum animated film,
I did
Revenge
see...
of Akman Ra.
Is Akman Ra Hank Azaria's character?
Yes, but not voiced by Hank Azaria. You know, person who is actually good at
Oh,
voice
you
work.
mean the voice actor?
Yeah, no, I couldn't get him back.
That could be him.
They got a whole. None of the original cast is back. You'll be glad to hear.
Well,
It
Robin
doesn't-
Williams was otherwise on.
Yes, he was occupied. But Larry Daly, not voiced by Ben Stiller,
Okay.
voiced by
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi.
Wildness.
That's the only casting I remember, and it doesn't even focus on.
No, it's his son.
It's his son Nick
Yeah.
that you have, detested. But there you go.
I have no real opinion on it. I mean, the point I'm saying is, the Nightmare at the Museum universe has horrendous implications.
Yeah.
And I think there could be a horror movie based on it. Nightmare at the Museum, if you will.
Yeah,
And I might write it and pitch it and make it one day. When I'm a famous Hollywood star, you'll look back on this and say, hey, I was there for its inception.
He's a star. And
I'm a star! You ever see that movie?
Pearl.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I saw that scene.
I saw that scene too.
star!
We
I've heard it's good,
we
though.
do that every time. Cyber's like, oh, Destiny, and we're like, we're a star.
You can't do this, I'm a star!
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what a note to end
Anyway,
on.
we just pulled into Turtle Guy's house. His address
yeah.
is...
Bleep. There's a bunch of snow everywhere, so that's nice. Cocaine joke, maybe? No.
I'm a rehab. By my rehab, I mean bed.
Yes. Right.
Not together.
Bye.